everybody! Thanks for coming back to my channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Gina, and today I'm going to be talking about my audition with Disney. So if you are interested, stick around, and I hope you like this video. So jumping right into this video, I'm just going to be talking about my experience with Disney, more specifically the Disney College Program. I'm going to talk about my audition, what it looked like, the steps and tips that you need if you are interested in ever auditioning for the Disney College Program. The very first thing I did when I decided to audition for the Disney College Program was to fill out the application. If you go to the Disney College Program website, there is an application that you can fill out. It is a very basic application. It basically just asks your name, how old you are, where you live, why you want to audition, things like that. After you fill out that initial application, you will get to pick a audition location. For me, I live in Michigan, so it was a city about 20 minutes away from where I currently live, and I drove there, and that's when everything gets really real. It seems like an actual audition. As soon as you go into your audition location, you have to provide an ID. There they'll look up your name, they'll see that you filled out the application, and you will get a number just like you see on TV. You'll get like a number and they'll place it on your body, and then you go into a waiting room and you just wait for one of the directors to come and get you. While you're waiting in the room that they're keeping you in, it is honestly just kind of like a waiting room. I talked to everybody. It is so important to make friends. You never know who these people are. You never know what kind of connections you're going to make with these people. If you get accepted to the program, you could potentially meet your roommate because they do let you pick who you want to room with. So just be open, talk to everybody, always have a smile on your face, and I highly suggest wearing some type of athletic clothing because you will be dancing and moving around. Don't come in jeans. Just don't come in things that are hard to move in. And I learned this at my audition. I packed a duffel bag. I put everything in my duffel bag. I had leggings, I had socks, I had tennis shoes, I had my dance shoes, makeup, a hairbrush, hairspray, snacks, everything and anything you can think of, because you will be there for hours. And sometimes the audition takes 2 to 3 days. It just depends on how many times you're going to get called back. And tip, the more you get called back, the better. So you just want to be prepared for that. So after you are done in the waiting room, the directors will come and get you. Then you will go into a larger room. For example, I auditioned at a dance studio. So they took us from a waiting room looking area to the actual dance studio, and we had to sit in number order. The directors talked at us for a little bit. They told us what to expect. They told us about how long we would be there, and just to have fun with the whole audition. So once things sort of got underway, I'm trying to think. It was so long ago. I auditioned in college, so bear with me. So once we were briefed on what we were going to be doing for the day, the very first thing that they did was we had to all fill out a questionnaire. It was similar to the application, but not exactly. It went in more depth, and some of the questions were really strange. Like, for example, they asked if you've ever dyed your hair. They asked if you have any tattoos. They asked things like that, and I thought it was kind of strange. But I guess I can see why, because you never know what role that Disney is going to put you in. So, if you want to be a princess, but you have a full sleeve of tattoos, you might get a princess who wears long sleeves. For example, you might not get Ariel because she wears like her little shell bra, and Ariel doesn't have a sleeve of tattoos. Nothing against tattoos. So after you fill out this questionnaire and you turn it in, you're going to stand in this very, very, very long line where you wait, and they are going to measure you. They're going to measure how tall you are. They're going to measure different places around your body to see what costumes you would fit in. So for example, they take like a tape measure, and they'll measure like around your head. They'll measure your wingspan. They'll measure your waist, your torso, all these things. And after you wait in this line and after you get measured, they're going to place you into categories with how tall you are. So the smallest group was the mouse group. Those people, like me, I'm very, very short, could only be a specific type of cast member. So I'm really short. I'm 4'11". I cannot be a princess. I'm too short. So princess height is like 5'2" or 5'3" to 5'6". So they wouldn't let me be a princess, but you can be someone like Mickey or Minnie because they're tiny. You could be Alice in Wonderland. You could be any of the Pixie Hollow fairies, Chip and Dale, any of the Disney characters that are really teeny tiny. The other categories, they all just vary based on your height. The tallest one I'm pretty sure was like the Goofy category. I didn't know, but Goofy's supposed to be like super tall or something. So after they split you into these height categories, they're gonna start only allowing those groups of people to audition. So for example, I was in the mouse category. So we got to go first. Everybody else in the other categories had to go back into the waiting room and wait. So that's what I mean when this could take like all day. It's a lot of waiting around. So after all the other people left the room, we got to start our audition. The very first thing they had us do was improvise. So there was a director standing at the front of the room, and they would tell us a scenario. They would say, you are standing on a float in the Disney parade, and you are any character you want. Pretend and imagine you are anybody you want, and you have to express your emotions to the crowd. You need to wave, you need to blow kisses, you need to be happy and smiling, but you cannot move your feet. We had to stand in place, and we had to smile and wave and pretend we were on a Disney float in the Disney parade, and we couldn't move, we couldn't talk, we just had to emote using our faces and our body. And we had to do this for a whole 60 seconds. So it felt like a really, really, really long time, and you are doing this in front of everybody else in the room, and people are waving, and people are blowing kisses, and acting like a superhero, and you feel like you're making like the biggest fool of yourself, but that's what they want to see. They want to see how much you can do without having to be coached. So I thought that was super cool. After that process, they had us do it about 3 or 4 times, every time with a different scenario. We would all have to sit down, the directors would all talk, and they would start calling out numbers. And when they called your number, that means that you got to stay. If they did not call your number, you had to go home. So right then and there, they made cuts, and they didn't warn anybody about it. Kind of nerve-wracking. After they made the cuts, unfortunately, all the people who didn't get called had to go home. Everybody who was left, we got to move on. So after the improv, we got to learn a dance. So a choreographer came in, and she taught us a 2-minute routine, a 2-minute dance routine. It was extremely hard, and I've been dancing my whole life. It was very hard, and it's a dance that they expect you to perform in a parade. So a parade is, I don't know, a couple miles long. I don't know how long a parade is. So they expect you to remember your moves and to have the stamina to keep going and keep dancing. So the dance that we learned was to a popular song at the time. It was really fun, and it was very, very hard. And we only got 30 minutes to learn it. So after the 30 minutes was up, everybody in the room had to leave. And we had to all go back to the waiting room and wait for all the other groups to go and learn the dance. So once every single person in every single group learned the dance, the director would come into the waiting room and call random numbers. And they would call people in groups of 3, and you would come into the room and perform the dance for the judges and the choreographer. So you were performing with people that might have not been in your group. You're performing with people that might not be the people that you have made friends with. It's very, very, very nerve-wracking, and you only get one chance to do your dance. So if you mess up, that's it. There's nothing else really going for you. So when they called me in, it was with 2 people that were not even in my height category, so I didn't even learn to practice with them. It was very difficult. Oh, and they cover all the mirrors because we were in a dance studio, so you can't even see yourself move, and you can't see the people next to you. So if you forget, you can't even like look at the person next to you. It was really nerve-wracking. We got our time to do our dance for the directors, and it was really fun. And you have to make sure that you are looking at the judges and smiling and things like that. So when your dance is all over, the directors will say, thank you so much for your time, please go back into the waiting room. So there's no initial feedback. You do your dance, you have your time to shine, and that is it. So once you go back into the waiting room, you can talk with your friends, you can hang out, you basically just wait for every single person to finish their dance, and then you all come back into the room where you were practicing in. And once again, they start calling numbers. If they call your number, you are good to go. Everybody else who does not get called gets to go home. So that was really sad. After you have spent all day with someone and their number doesn't get called and then they have to go home, it was really hard. So I suggest adding anybody and everybody to your phone contact list. Add them on Snapchat, add them on Instagram, add them wherever so you can keep in contact with people. It's just a really good way to keep those connections going with people because, like I said, you never know who these people are and what kind of doors this will open for you. Once the second wave of people are eliminated, you will all stay in the room and you will be debriefed on what will happen next. So every audition is a little different. I know people who have auditioned for the Disney College Program and their auditions haven't necessarily gone in the order that I'm explaining to you. So what happened to me in my case was the directors and the choreographer all stayed and they debriefed with us. They told us, good job, congratulations, you are staying and you're moving on to the next round of auditions. And the next round of auditions for us was to submit a video. We had to submit a video of us singing and we could pick any song we wanted, and it really was just to showcase our voice. And this was to audition now for a Disney character. So in the Disney College Program, they can put you in all these different really cool roles. They can put you in gift shops, they can put you in bakeries and boutiques and all these really cool things. And if you wanted to have the option to be a character performer, you had to do the things like singing and dancing, and that is why we had to submit our singing video. So after you submit your video, I'm not really sure how long it was, I got a phone call from one of the directors, and it is a phone interview. And some tips for my phone interview was just to be yourself, do not talk really fast. I talk really fast and I'm trying really hard not to for you guys, because you want to make sure they can understand you, and they're going to be writing stuff down while you are talking. So they'll ask you all these questions. I can't say what those questions are. Just be yourself, sound enthusiastic, be honest, and just have fun with it. Don't say anything that you really don't feel, or don't say anything that you really don't mean, because if you say something and then you get the job, they're going to expect you to do that, or they're going to expect you to emote that, and just don't put yourself in that position if you're really not comfortable with it. So after my phone interview, I would say my phone interview lasted about 30-45 minutes. The people on the phone interview were super nice. After my phone interview, you just wait. And I waited about 5 days, and then you get an email saying whether or not you have made it into the program. And after you make it into the program, so my email had a lot of links for me to click, things for me to set up my housing, things for me to set up who I wanted to live with, and all that awesome stuff. So that's basically how my audition went. I'm really happy to share all this information with you guys. I love talking about it. It was an awesome experience, especially as a young adult, getting out there, feeling like very accomplished about yourself, going out of your comfort zone, doing things that you don't normally do. You would be surprised how happy and how fulfilled it makes you feel, whether or not you actually really want to go down to Florida or California, whichever Disney they're going to put you in. I just highly suggest doing it. You meet such amazing people. It's just all around 10 out of 10 great experience. I got cold feet going into my actual move-in day and everything, so I actually never went down to Florida. I never fulfilled my assignment, but like I said, the actual audition itself is just an amazing experience, and I don't mind sharing that part of my journey with you, because I wouldn't have done anything differently. I wouldn't have changed a thing. And I think the only thing I regret about the whole thing is actually not going down to Florida and trying. I was a freshman in college when I auditioned, so that in itself was scary to me because I was moving away from home for the first time, and you know, going away to college 3 hours away from my home was scary enough, let alone moving all the way down to Florida and having to be there for a whole semester by myself. So that is the only thing I think I would change about my whole experience. I'm so happy that you have made it this long in my video. This is probably the longest video I'm ever gonna make. Well, I don't know. Well, thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, like my videos, comment on my videos, let me know what you want to see next. You know, in this awesome quarantine, I really don't have a lot of other things to be doing, so thanks so much for coming to my channel, and make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.